What is up, people, and welcome back. Well, it's been a bit cold here. I know for some people around the world this is probably warm, but it's been cold, so I ain't been doing much. But we need to get some more work done on this booster. So what I've picked up since the last time, I've got our battery, and I've gone for the Varley Red Top 25 and the Demon Tweaks bracket. I have got a new windscreen, new ignition, window rubbers, bits and bobs and odds and sods. Struggling to find a loom for this car. Everything's like 6 to 8 weeks. So we're still in and out about what we're going to do with that. But so I'm not going to be wiring it. But I'd like to find the right loom, if you understand what I mean. Right, but what we're going to do today is we have 2 sheets of aluminium and a long length of aluminium angle, which is all the way up there. And we're going to start attacking this firewall. So that's the biggest job for me, really, is this firewall. So, and I did going to get a new phone. My other one, I thought it was my car, because I had the ignition on in the Mini. I thought it was going between the phone and the radio. But it's not, because the Mini's not in here, and this thing's still doing it. So it's on its way out. But I went for an upgrade and I was over a year over my upgrade. So got a new one. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to bring this forward a bit, get the doors back off. They're just resting there. And I'll show you my plan, shall we? Let's get something done. Right, so what my plan is. Let me get around here. This is what I'm thinking. Is behind here there is no structural support, right? When I've got that aluminium angle, what I'm thinking about doing is running it from this side to that side. Might have to spacer it off just so it comes past to give us a solid platform to work to. That's the plan. That's what I think's better than having it's snaking through all of these, and then this piece will literally just block off the whole car. Yeah, so it'll come up to the side, have an infill piece, and the same angle I'm going to run across the floor, so all of this is hidden. Yeah, so you won't see any of this. It'll just come straight across, and it'll probably come out, back in. We have a removable panel here because you've got to get into the oil filter. That's what I'm thinking. So straight across, fabricating brackets, weld them to the cage. So then this, we've got to come to it. Then a panel here, and then like a triangular piece in there somewhere. I may even make a permanent piece for the bottom to deal with all these pipes and cables, and then the next piece rivets to it, so if you do actually ever want to take it off, you haven't got to take all these cables and lines off. That's the plan. The idea, anyway. I need to sort a little bit of this wiring out because it's in the way. Really, it needs to be run up and across the roof and down, not cable tied to the roll cage. So I'm going to sort the loom out a little bit first, try and figure out what's a bit of what. Shove it in the back out the way. And I need to work out a piece for across here. What I might do is drop the seat in so I can see where the seat's sitting, so I know what I'm working with. So apparently this bloke's 6.5 foot tall and he's picked a rear and engine in the back. What he should have done is, if he's 6.5 foot tall and he wanted an engine in the back, he should have had like a clubman estate or a van or something, because they're 4 inches longer. Ideally, you know. But anything's makeable for the right money. Right then. Let's get something done, shall we? Right, so that's the seating. And we've got a load of room. Now, I've guesstimated where he had the seat by the witness marks on the bolt holes and stuff. So technically that should be where he had it anyway. So what we need to do is fabricate some brackets to come off here to weld to the cage. Probably a captive nut on the back or a riv nut. One either side, piece of angle that runs all the way across. Then this plate, we need to work out how much longer we want it. And if we want to make any changes to said plate. Really, I think I'm just going to use the same design as what it is now. I'm not quite sure why we've got this massive hole here. Technically that will allow heat up into this area. So what I might do, but then again, because this is so weak, I was going to put angle on the back of here to come up to locate on the inside of this, because there's no fixing here. So the angle would come across, up, bolt through. That will give this then some body. So yeah, I'm going to do that actually, instead of infilling that in, because it's still going to be in two parts, or I can't get it in. Yeah. Also, what I'll be doing is not doing this. It's going to have holes put in and then the hoses through the holes. We need to try and keep this as, I don't know what this is for, as filled as possible. I mean, this car's not going to be, none of these cars are sealed. Do you know what I mean? It's just close as you can get it. But we know this is going to have to be longer. So what I'm going to do is this section that's here is going to be longer all the way, because it misses the coils. Because you've got to make sure you can get the coils out in case you want to change the plugs. So what we're going to do is work out how big our standoffs need to be. Make them, cut the angle to length, weldy, 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 rivety, rivety, rivety. And then we'll start working our way forward, okay? Right, so we've got our bar in. Now, because I'm going to use this as a template, which is pretty, well, it's in place. We just need to add this to it. So, at a certain point, well, this is, I need to add 62 millimeters. This point, so I'll put a mark on the plate, and that is 62 millimeters. 62. So that's 62, and this one's 62. Show to that. So we're going to remake that whole section. 62 millimeters longer, and then we're going to cut this square out. Can't really go any further than that because of the coils. We're going to cut the square out and we'll reuse that anyway. So what I'm doing there is I'm adding the overlap there was about 10 mil. So I want to try and add a bit more. So we're going to bring this into 62 mil. So we've got to be there. No. There. 62 mil. So this one's got to come in. Because the back of the car curves, doesn't it? So it's not square. That's a bit of that. 62 mil. 62. 70. 68. 62. 62. 62. So that is about where we need to be. Square there. This hole isn't square though. That thing mustn't be square. So that is the extra length we need. That's the extra overlap, which is about an inch. Well, 22 mil. Just to have a bit of extra overlapping. What we need to do now is clamp it in place and draw around the thing. I want to make sure I leave enough overlap. So don't want really any at the front, because we're going to put the angle in there. So here we need 80 mil. 80 mil. Beautiful. We're leaving that. Don't know what this was. I think that looks like an ECU kind of shape. That's going. These are just the cutouts for the cage. So you're getting them. It's quite close. And I'm using 1.5 mil. They've only used 1 mil. Probably why it flexes around all over the place. Right, look at that now. Right, so we've got our rough shape. I did the inside with the grinder because I didn't want to sacrifice any material out of that square by drilling big holes in the corners to get the cutter in. Because that should be enough to make one of these parts, you know what I mean? So that's why I kept that.
I can help with.
Bloody watch. Thinks I'm talking to you all the time.
I didn't get that.
See?
Can you try again?
Go away.
Okay.
Right. So I don't want this one because I haven't took all the hoses off, yeah? Hang on. It's this one. So basically what we've got to do with this now is put it in here. Like that. Yeah? And then we're going to line it up with the square edge at the front. And then put new marks where the tubes are. Because I didn't want to use the ones I'd done. Just in case I'm a little bit wrong. You see how much sturdy this is? And that's not even resting around the edge. Because it's 1.5. Instead of that little 1mm. I know 1mm light, but says 1.5. So what I'm going to do is square it up with the edge of this. If I can get it to go in. Yeah. So square it up with the edge of this. Stop it. Like so. Yeah. And then I'll run marks onto the plate. The distance from this outer tube to this inner edge. I don't think I'm far off with the marks I've got there, but might as well try and do it properly. Right, I've been doing this. I didn't record, did I? I thought I did. It's basically the panel. This panel is sort of in. Yeah, I need to take a touch more off here because this needs to come back a little bit more. I need to take a little bit more out of there, and then that will come and square up and come in a little bit more. We're nearly there. I just need to take a touch out of here, touch off the back, and then I'll show you in the next one by hitting record. Really well. Well then, let's show you how I did it, shall we? Onesie. Now this one's got to go in. So you put it where you sort of want it. And then we've got to do some measurements. I must admit, I just took the pipes off the header tank. Does anyone else think that is probably one of the world's stupidest places to stick a header tank? Right beyond the driver's head. See, if that thing fucking blows, the odds are, I mean, these booster engines, they run at about 100 degrees, which is hotter than your average car. If that fucking gives up, that driver is in a fucking world of shit. But I can't fathom out where else we can move it to. Because it's got to be higher than the radiator. Got to be higher than the cylinder head. So I can only drop it down about fucking 6 inches at best. Which is still going to leave it in the car. So that's something I need to think about. Right, I've got you in the best sort of kind of place that I can get you in. For some reason, this phone, the buttons on the top and the bottom are right where I want to need to clamp it in. So we get this sort of lined up with this. We're getting the inside squared up and that one. So we should be coming straight back. Oh, so now we need to put our mark on here, which is this side of the tube. And this one. Is this side of the tube? Yeah. Then we need to measure our distance. So, 8mm. And that is like 65mm to there. So I need to take off 8mm. Took a 60mm. So we go 60mm up there. Yeah, and that's where our hole's going to be. So just do the same on the back one as well. We're all still in line. We're looking good. So look, this side of the tube. I'll tell you what, that line was bang on. And then up and under. This side of the tube. Heavy. Do our measurements. $70 mil. Tell you what, that we're far off where that one's supposed to be. I'm going to leave those because I'm still questioning where that header tank's going to end up. See, with these kind of builds, you can definitely see where all the labour costs come, can't you? I've been in here hours. It just takes time. And time, sadly, is money. And I'm using 38mm, which is why everything's a bit oversized, because for some reason these were made out of 34mm. Apparently these aren't even CDS, these early zcars. They're just standard ERW tube. So not motorsport grade. So if you ever had a big shunt, it doesn't build. Don't get me wrong, it's still going to be safer than not having a cage, but it's going to fucking hurt. Where's my? Now you'll see why I needed the longer drill bit to help guide. Really have to do an even longer one. Oh, I ain't got one. And that's how we're creating that oval for our back leg. See? Still have to fanny around with the other one with the grinder. Oh, it got us somewhere close. bloody back. Let's give it a try. Not expecting glory on the first shot, but we'll see. That's all right. It's not far. Right, so pretty in line there. We're up against. Pretty good. Pretty in line. In line. So we're not far off at that. Yeah, you could probably take, see how we've got a bit of wobble? It's because it's up against that tube. But I expected it to need a little bit of fettling. Because we can't get it right first time, trying to bodge an hole cutter through to a bit of a dodgy angle. But that is much stronger and it's not even fixed together yet. Right, let's carry on. I'm going to take a little bit more out of there so we can just get it over a touch more. And then once this is in the right place, I can fix it together. And then we're going to put a piece of angle under here coming up, and that will really solid that up then. Right then, it's the next day now. So I went out for a meal. Went to my mate's bar. He's got a wicked bar in his back garden. It's just fucking amazing. Had a couple of drinks. Woke up with an headache. Imagine that. And I don't drink. Right then. So what I did yesterday is I spent a few hours starting to hack away all this bloody silicone everywhere. And I got it off as much as I could, but I just can't get these last bits off. I need some sort of solvent-based thing, I think. So it's probably just going to have to stay the way it is now because I just can't get it off. It's just... I've probably got like 2 hours just cleaning that off. Do you know what I mean? It ain't free. So I just cleaned the most of it off because it would just freaking annoy the shit out of me knowing it's there. It's annoying the shit out of me knowing these last little bits here. Right, but what we need to do now is the top piece, as we know, is pretty much finished now. It's level with this now. So that's good. So now what we can do, we can put some screws in this to hold it in place. Then we need to get the swager out because I want to put like a in there just to get this gap away because that'll annoy the shit out of me as well. So we've got to do that there. We've got to do it there. We're gonna pop some screws in so we first know where it's gonna sit, and that is where it's gonna sit. So we'll drop a couple of screws in, mark our lines. We'll get this back out. Then we need to start making the front sections. So there's going to be like one from here. Hopefully it'll be one piece. And then you have a couple of infills behind the bars. And then there's going to be one there. Or it'll be 3 individuals. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up with the floor. And I'm going to run aluminium angle on the floor. Now, the only reason I can do this with this car, it's got the rear tubs in it. Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to put 2 drain holes in the recesses, but if you didn't have the tubs, you couldn't do this because this would just literally be covered in water and that would just literally go fill up. But because you've got the tubs, 90% of the water is gone, and then the heat of the exhaust will dry anything out that's in there anyway. Right, so pop a couple of screws in, mark, get the swager out. We'll do some test cuts, well, test runs on the swager just to get our depths right. Right, so we've got this out. I've swapped these over, these square edged ones. I've run a couple of test passes to get me depth, so I know what step I'm working to. It's a bit tricky. To be honest, I barely ever use this thing, so it's a bit hit and miss. But it needs doing, so we've got to do it. I have got all the bits to make this electric as well. I've had them ages, just ain't done them. Just haven't done it. It would make it so much easier if I did make it electric. There we go. So we're on our line. And we have our step. Now the other one. Beautiful. On our line. Another thing I've seen people do with these is put wheels on it. Like steering wheels, so you can, instead of having to, that might be an option. Might be an option. But electric would be better because I actually have all the stuff. Just too lazy. Right. So what I've made now are these. Yeah, these go here. Yeah, and that gives us a flat surface from this point to work to. Yeah, and then this, so this hopefully will be one piece straight up across, one singular piece, and the same to the side with the other one. You get the idea. So this is just a bit of chopped up angle with a bendy, nothing dramatic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some sealer under these, bolt them down, because that's the last time these are going to come out. So we'll get that done now. Right then, as if by magic, ta-da, ta-da. And the sealer I use is this panel bond stuff. Speed bond. It's what you put car body panels on with. So it's not just like your normal bathroom sealer. This has got a little bit of give in it as well, but it's pretty good stuff. Right, so we've done them. So now while that's drying, we can't really work on this area. I want to try and get this piece done. So we can use the bottom of the original one there as a template, and I want to come up yay far, and it'll fix to this. This can be all in one plane, up, across, so it misses all of this. So if you ever want to take that panel out, do an oil change, you ain't got to take all the sealer off all of this stuff. So what we're going to do, this is the original. So we're going to hack it off up here somewhere, just to give us plenty of material. Yeah. Then we're going to utilise this and try and see if we can make the idea a bit better than this. Yeah. So I'm going to chop this off, and we're going to try it in the oven. we have our first centre section. Now you can sort of see what I was thinking. Yeah, so now there's going to be a piece coming up to this, and a piece from there going up, and a piece from there going out. So the idea is I want either the whole centre section or just a portal in to get to that. Yeah? You can see how long it takes just to make this stuff. Very tedious, very time consuming. Well then, I'm going to end this video here, it's getting a bit long now. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later, people.